Hello. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope you had yourself a good weekend. Sorry I wasn't here last Thursday. We had some stuff that was going on. Actually, no, I was here last Thursday, wasn't I? It's kind of everything's kind of blended together. I've had a lot of projects lately going on. Matter of fact, I'm going to be out and away on business for probably for the next this Thursday and probably next week's live stream at least. I do have you can't see it really, but behind there I got a bunch of my camera equipment. It's set up, getting charged up and stuff for when I do go, because I'm going to try and see if while I'm out and about and I do get a little bit of a break time, I am going to maybe try and see if I can get you guys to see some of the sketching. Like today, I actually did another sketch while I was out at lunch. So this is one we're going to actually play with today. Oh, thanks, bro. How do you have fun? We're on business. I'll miss you. Well, I'm actually going to try and see if we can the camera equipment I have to where we'll be able to still do live stream stuff. It won't be as multi cameras as this. It might not have all that functionality to it. But we'll still at least have a digital screen. We'll do some digital art, or if I'm at like a cafe or something like that, I'll do some sketching stuff, and I'll see if I can get a tripod set up where you can actually watch me sketch from there, and we'll work with that and try it a little bit more mobile. We'll give it a shot, see how it goes. This is actually what we're going to work on today. This actually I did basics. I call it just visiting the lake, because of I've been up to Lake Lore before a couple of times and stuff, and it's very beautiful out there. So I figured I'd kind of do a little bit of a portraiture type drawing with that. Today I just kind of had the feel for it. So what I'm going to do is, I was going to have it already scanned, but I actually had a camera issue. The cameras and stuff weren't wanting to cooperate, so I had to actually restart the whole computer. I was going to have it scanned in already to where we can play with it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and get it put on my scanner, and you'll get to see me we'll actually go through the whole process. So you'll see how I get this scanned in with Photoshop, and how I'll go through Clip Studio Paint, and we'll clean it up and do some work on that, and then we'll start painting on it. So without further ado, if you get a chance, tell me how your day's been, what you've been up to, what new stuff you got going on. In the meantime, give me just 1 minute, because I got to stand up here to get to my scanner. So. Alright, now that I got it all on my scanner, let's flip over to the digital screen so you can see what's happening. Where this interface that you're seeing right here, this is actually Photoshop, and I got it all hooked up to my scanner, so we're just going to bring in some support for that. We'll open the equipment in Photoshop for now, just so we can take a peek at it. No, I don't need that. I just need my Epson. Okay, custom settings. Check out the settings. Yeah, that's about standard. I'll do a preview of it real quick. Most of them will by default will have 300 DPI. That's usually more than enough. I usually will do 600 a lot of times, just so I have a more crisper area if I have to blow it up larger or not, and I don't want to vectorize the whole image. So for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little quick scan of that, and it should pop up on my scanner right here. It does do this where it does go upside down and backwards. So, and usually, I don't know why it does it on this one. My laptop it works correctly on, but this one is always upside down and whatnot. So once it seats itself back, we should be able to hit the scan button. Hopefully. Anywho, if not, if it doesn't want to work out, we will just simply open up Clip Studio, and we can work on one of the other many projects that we have going on. Ross, good evening. How are you doing today, Sarah? Kind of got a little bit of a late start. We was going to have this image scan that I did, drew today. Yeah, so here we go. We got that. Now I'm going to pull this up just because I know that on my workstation here, it will clip it and it'll take it off. So what we'll do is we'll do a little flip around here on Photoshop real quick, and then we'll jump over to the Clip Studio Paint. My uncle got out of the hospital on Friday. Went to see him on Thursday. He didn't have a live stream. Oh yeah, I had one Tuesday. He's at home and not at rehab. Very good. Gosh, he's back at home. That's awesome. and no rehab. Very cool. So I like I said, aside for me, aside from the business trip I'm going to be doing in just a moment, we're going to be doing some work out of state. I am going to try and still do the live streams and whatnot and with the equipment that I have right now and get putting together. And I might actually, if I can and it works out well, I'm going to actually try maybe what's called an IRL live stream or in real life live stream, or maybe if I get a little bit of downtime, I can we'll maybe go check out a couple places and just do some live stream like hiking and walking around. We can chat. Let's see. My aunt said Friday he started walking with his peeing and pooping bath. He says you're back. He's back to how he was. Changed a lot from when I saw him the day before, I guess. Thank you. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad that he's actually doing better like that. Okay, so as you can see here, we got the image and stuff, the whole thing for it. So first thing we want to do is we're going to just go ahead and grab this crop tool here, and we're going to go ahead and crop it in. And as you can tell, I always outline or frame out my pictures on my sketchpad. So we'll do that. And let me flip over real quick to my my Photoshop. And let's see, we do that in Control, and we should be able to zoom in. But yeah, I did this today, and let's go ahead and get this saved up real quick here. We can save it as a PSD. There we go, and we'll just do it. We'll title it Visiting the Lake. There we go, and then we'll export it out. Thanks, Andy. I'm going back on the Victor Gazette Cruise tomorrow. They'll give me $2.25 and free play, free lunch, free boarding, fun free day. My parents are taking McGraw and bug bombing as I keep getting worms on occasion. Oh, sorry to hear you're still having that issue with that stuff. What do I got? Oh, my usual thing. But, so, we'll get this done up. This is going to, I'm exporting also as a PNG file, just in case. So, I kind of do it on multiple things. So, we'll do that. As you can see, that was in one of my other folders. I just had a bunch laid around for that. From other projects that I did. But we'll work on this one. We'll see about getting this one done out for review maybe later. Let's close that out. I don't need all that stuff. Alright, so anyway, we got that. No, I don't need to save the PSD. I already did. So we'll close that out. And now we're over at the Clip Studio. This is the main menu screen area and where you can do all your different pieces to it. So I'm going to open up Paint and get Paint put up on here. Well, I'll have to drag it down on the screen because I think it's going to one of my... Oh, nope, there it goes. It was up on one of the others. Thanks to Babylon to take care of it. Yeah, I hope so. That would be great if it did. Okay, the sketchbook. Let me grab it real quick so I can tell you the size of it. Alright, so like I said, this isn't like a giant sketchbook, and that's the reason why I usually do the scale up on there, because I'll close this girl up real quick so we can see the cover section. There it is. This is actually a 6 by 9.5 sketchbook basically, so it's not a large one. So what I'm going to do is the way I have it trimmed out to where it'll have a little bit more height on it. So we're going to keep it as an 11 by 17 image, and we're just going to blend it and work it into there. So let me go and move over now to my hotkeys for my Clip Studio Paint, and we'll go here to File, Import Image. Let's see, that's some concept art. I need to go probably to my scanned. No. Oh, where did I put it at? I know I got it here somewhere. Let me put it up on my screen so I can see it a little bit better. Alright. I bet you it is in Art Pieces. It does not have to be that large. Here we go. Let's see if I can do the Visiting the Lake one. If it'll let me. Sometimes Clip Studio Paint does work with PSDs, as you can see right here, and the 600 pixels and stuff allows it to be a decent size, so I can always scale it down. So what we're going to do is just that. We'll scale it down and zoom out a little bit. And we just kind of, as you can see with my line areas that I have, I kind of always have like a bleed. It's like a bleed line. So we're just going to kind of do that to frame it out. That looks pretty good. And what we want to do is we want to take this, being this is our sketch, you want to put it on the multiply for the layer mode. Up here on the top left, I went from normal to multiply it, so you can see what you color or draw behind it and whatnot. And last but not least, we will probably just bring it down a tiny bit on the opacity, just to where we'll get all the gist of what we want on there, but it doesn't have to be so strong. And I'm just going to lock the layer out so that way I can't grab it on accident. And this layer up here is going to be, we're just going to label it the base. And that's basically, actually I'll do color base, because we're going to get her blocked in as one color. And we will start adding from there. The back paper is an off-white color. I don't use pure white when I have them new paper designs, because the pure white is actually pretty rough on your eyes after staring at it for a bit on the screen. So, got my glove on, grab my my stylus, my pen, slide that over so I don't hit the buttons on that. And let's see here. I kind of did a little bit of shifting around on some of the workspace area, so that way you guys can see the layers, see the colors and everything, because over here the history and other stuff that's behind the screen of the smaller monitor or smaller image is not always necessarily needed. So let's go ahead and let's pick a color that we'll use for her. Maybe we'll just use this. Let's see, and let's go to the brush tool. We can make sure we have the round brush, and we want to go to the color base. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. And what we're going to do basically is you can do this a couple different ways. You can use the lasso tool to bring the lines in. I'm just going to go like this because I got my stylus pen, and I'm just going to literally paint it in to where I have a base area that I can grab onto really easy, because I'm basically going to be making a mask for this. So there's a couple different ways you can do it, but it's easier just to do it this way. For me, some people like to use the little lasso tool, and I'll show you that in a moment. I use it for some things, but most of the time it gets to be a little tedious, and this way I can at least, I'll just paint around the edge, and then I'll just fill this in, and then I'll grab the whole thing, and then I can turn it into a mask. And what a mask does is, like I said, allows you to basically be able to paint and airbrush and do shades and whatnot on everything. So, and I'm just using this to block her in, and I'll block in also the foreground and then the background, so that way we can kind of have everything going on with it together. So there we are. And of course we can come back, we don't have to be always this detailed on it. We can always just kind of run through the blocking, because we're going to break it down into multiple layers, so we're going to have the hair layers and all that stuff as well. So that's going to be the most fun part over here, because we'll probably have a couple little openings that we'll end up pushing through, and we'll punch that through. Oops. So, alright. And of course we had some rain today. Wasn't too bad of a day. I do have some aircraft stuff that I've been working on doing quotes on for some new projects for some clients, so you're probably going to see some new aircraft stuff. I don't know how much of it's going to have CAD work done on it, but I think I might have somebody wanting a whole new panel. I know I have somebody with a lot of stuff going on that will probably just CNC a couple of blanking plates, but hopefully all that stuff will work out, and you guys will get to see some nice content with that. And hopefully with the new camera systems that I just picked up, I'll be able to we'll be able to do maybe some live streaming for that, so you can see some more. That way, maybe do some question and answer stuff, or a Q&A thing if people who like airplanes. I'll start posting some of that, for adding that on, just so you guys can see some of the other goodies that I play with. Let's see. I kind of got this pretty loose, so I don't think I need to get all of this laid out. Frontier Man, hello, how you doing today? Thanks. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't catching. I was just making sure I didn't miss any of the other chat messages. I don't like to miss the messages. You guys are important to me. So, let's see. And of course we'll have. I don't need to do that one. That one I'll bring in as a separate layer. Okay, so we that's all brought across. That's across. We'll probably come over here and just we'll get this stuff filled in here too as well. I don't know. I was kind of playing with making the hair kind of wispy or a little bit of movement on it to where it had a little more action feel to it, even though she kind of has this more kind of a static pose, but you can kind of feel the movement with it. So, alright, so what we'll do is now we'll come over to the this is the magic wand tool, so we'll grab all of the color that I just did on this one color base, and then I'm going to grab the inside by holding the shift button down, and hopefully there will be only a couple spots that I'll grab here and here. Let's see, those look all pretty good so far. Make sure there's not anything too crazy. Over there we need that we want. So with that one, and let's just kind of that's what the lasso tool will do the same thing. You see these little ant trails? It's called the walking ants, or an ant trail. There's a closer look at it so you can see. And as you can tell, there's certain little spots here and here that I can flip over to the lasso tool like this, and I'll hold the shift button down to where it has a little plus sign on the cursor. And I can just grab some of those smaller artifact areas in, like that there. But first, let's see if we can. What we'll do. Hit the fill button, and it should give us our fill for our character. Excellent. And now we'll go back to the magic wand, and this is a neat thing we can do. Usually, it's got a little bit of a leniency on it to where I can click on it, and it should catch most of all the little artifacts. Every now and then you might have one. I think I see one. I thought I saw one up here. Guess it was just me. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good so far. And that way we'll have, this will be the main character. Okay, so we got that. Let's see. We'll call this say female color base. Alright, new raster layer. New layer here. We are going to actually, let me come back to over to this, and let's do, no, I don't want that. I want to do, oh, here it is. Let's see, shrink. We want to layer. Mask outside selection, because we selected all this stuff, so we want to mask the outside. So there we go. So now this layer up here, it's got this little black and white spot. Now the white area is all the stuff I can work in, the black is the stuff that I won't work in. So let me grab a different color here, go to a brush, and now when I draw across, you see how it doesn't go outside of that. It's a nice thing about the layer mask, it makes it easy. So now I can do this. I can do, we're going to actually take this part and we're going to add on, so this will be we'll do skin base for this one, and we're going to actually, as we're going along, we're going to create everything up. So this folder will be the skin, so this will have all the layers for the skin in this folder that we're going to do, and then we'll make a folder here for the base. There'll be base colors, because we're going to have others. So in this folder we'll house all the bases in it. Kind of keep everything clear. Frontier Man got home from the hospital Friday. I saw him. I guess he did way better after I saw him escape a great walk. Excellent. Oh, okay, you're talking Frontier Man. Alright. Let's see. So, skin base, we want to actually use this one here, and we're actually going to grab some of the other color. We're actually going to use the mask area here, and we're actually going to paint in with black. And you can actually see when let me largen this up so you can see it really quick. I can actually do this, and it'll actually open up that area for me to be able to work with. So we do that. That adds to it. If we use the eraser, we make the eraser larger. I can do this, and I'll actually take it away. So you saw it looks a little bit smaller there now for that. So I can actually grab this stuff, and I can actually clean this stuff to where it won't paint through onto the hair. It's a nice little thing we can do with that. So, but what we're going to do is we are actually going to do it a separate or an easier way, and I'm going to show you. So we're going to take this, and we are going to, being there's nothing on this one with the skin base, we're going to go down to here, grab this, make the ant trail here, and we are going to go to the lasso tool and use either the Alt or the Shift button depending on what we want to bring in or out. So if I use the Alt button, it puts a little minus on it. If I use the Shift button, it puts a plus on it. Simple stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, and I'm going to actually draw around and just kind of grab sections of it to remove it, to where it basically is going to take it off. What that's going to do is it's going to allow me to easily pull out for the skin. So that way I'm only, when I go to airbrush and do the work on the skin, it's all I got to work with. I don't have to worry about any other stuff. So we'll go from there to there, and we'll grab some of the skin here and in here as well. We'll block out the necklace and whatnot. So this one's kind of pretty easy down here. We just gotta grab it like this, and this is it. I'm glad about the good news. I was a little busy for a couple minutes. Oh, okay. There we go. So we go it that way, and now we're gonna come through here and grab this one down here and come back up. That way we're just blocking out the skin area. That's how. It's a little tedious at first, and it doesn't seem that fun and exciting, but once you get it done in the long run, it's much nicer. And let's see, like right here, I kind of tucked it in a little tight, so we'll do it this way. Kind of add back onto it by using the Shift button. Okay, let's come back up to here. And we want to not paint over the necklace, so we'll block this area out. So that's the skin, like so. Okay, let's grab this section over here. It kind of was a little haywire, but we'll add back onto this part that I kind of got out of sorts on. Let's see here. And we don't want to color the hair with the skin, so we're going to take that, and we're just going to kind of grab some of this. And we're just going to right there. Oop. I want to keep that part. I think I went too far on that one. Yep. Did it again. Undo. So let's go ahead and grab that, and we'll grab that section, clean that out. There we go. trying only to keep the skin. And we also want to take the eyes to where we don't have the eyes getting blended in with the skin. So there we go. And the hair is going to be okay because when we make the mask for the hair, we can actually bring that to where it'll come back over. So it's okay if they overlap back and forth, because once you put all the layers together, it'll be just fine. Oops, that was obviously not a good. Let me slide this over so I can get a better angle with my pen. There we go. But this is how we put in from start to finish, so you can see just everything that goes into doing this. This is no speed ups, no shortcuts. You know, of course there's always some neat shortcuts you can do, but let's see. You know what, I think I'm going to leave that in because I'm going to do the hair separately, so we're just, that way it'll have a good overlap. So we're actually going to bring that back in like so. That'll work. There we go. Because the hair layer is going to cover over the top, we'll have the hair layer over the top of it. That'll work out just fine. Okay, so we should have ant trails going just around this for the skin tones. Skin area. Looks good. Okay, so now we want to go to layer. We want to layer mask outside selection, so that way it gives this area to it. And we have our skin base, which will work out great because now we can actually, like if we wanted to, we can go over here to like a light cream brush, go to an airbrush, and this is like one of the first skin tone levels that you usually do. We can always bring it in so you can have sort of the white skin tone area that you'll start your base on. You know, we can go like that to it, and this will just allow us just to work on the skin tone areas. So, all right, let's go back to the color base. Magic wand, hit all the yellow because we have it set up over here only to refer to the editing layer, so not to where it refers to all of them. So we're using the female color base on that. So now what we want to work on is we have skin, clothes will go over the top, hair, eyes will go over all that. So what we can do is actually let's go ahead and we'll take care of the eyes first. Let's go ahead and go to here. Let's open up a new folder, and the folder will be the eyes. So, and let's see here, we will add a new raster layer. Make sure that's inside there. Perfect, it is. Eyes base. Excellent. Because we'll have a start with the base. So, and what I'll do is I'll actually go to my round brush for this skin base, because that's what we'll just, that way we can have a breakup of everything so we can see. There we go. Alright, so that's that one. So the eye base, we'll go back to it, we'll go to the lasso tool, and we'll go up here and we'll grab it on in. And what we want to do is the eyes are actually going to be behind, we're going to put it behind the skin. So we're going to grab this folder, we're going to put it below, like that. So that way the skin layers are over the eye layers. So that way when we paint the eyes and stuff, it'll follow into the sockets. So, and what also makes that nice is when we use the lasso tool, we can actually go just outside to where we're going over the skin section on it. Like so, just like that. Hold the shift button down just to kind of grab a little bit of a little extra there. I like to overlap it so that way when you put the layers on top of each other, it actually works out. Okay, simple one there, just those two, and we're going to do layer mask, outside selection, and that's going to be the eyes base. We do a new raster layer because we're going to do also above the eye base. We're actually going to do the pupils. So in the eyes base, we can give it a let's give it a soft, cool gray, and go to the round brush real quick here. Kind of give it a. Now I know they look a little glowy right now, but it's just kind of just to see the different the mixture on it. We'll work with those. Okay, we can shrink him down a bit. Let's go to the lasso tool for the pupil base, and what we're going to do is these guys are actually going to go above the other ones. So this is sort of the little planning section of it that we do. So that way your artwork will really, you can do whatever work you decide to do on it. I kind of went definitely over bounds on that one. I don't want to be that crazy with it. Let's go ahead and let's try and look a little bit professional to that. Alright. But by setting all this stuff up, it makes it so much nicer for down the road, especially when you go to do edits or make changes, or if there's something you kind of did and you're like, I want it to look a little bit different, a little bit better. Now you can, everything will be separated, which will work out great. What's your type of eye color we should give her? What type of color eyes should she have? I'm going to give her kind of I'm actually going to do a two-tone. I'm going to do sort of like a platinum blonde hair, and then she's going to have some almost like dark tinting, like type of hairstyle. I saw it in one of the fashion books I was looking around at one day, where they kind of do like they dye the under part or the inside part of the hair. So I'm going to try and see if I can make a neat a neat contrast with that, with the different tones. So, but I just need to get what type of eye color. See, we're going to have some greens in the back here. Let's see what's going to probably look good. Maybe she's got just a couple of, she's got some jewelry, but nothing too crazy. Going to have some earth colors, blue water. We don't want to put blue with the blue sky. It'll get over blued on it. Maybe something in warm color. Maybe we'll kind of, I don't know, maybe we'll give her some kind of a goldish, maybe brown, kind of give her a different type of eye look, maybe something a little ethereal or surreal. Let's see, maybe a green. Let's see, what should we work? What do we think? What are we thinking, guys? Could always give it a kind of a maybe a purplish, just a little bit of light, a softer purple though. Maybe we'll go like, she looks awesome. Thanks, Brian. Let's see here. Maybe we'll do like a golden type eyes, and that'll be like a light white and whatnot. And that might actually help with a little bit of the accenting. We'll give her some kind of like a goldish hazel look type of eyes to it. But anyway, that'll be the base for that, so we can refer back to those easily on this mask, and we can make multiple layers quickly with the mask now. We won't have to keep drawing over that. We can just click and make a new mask for our layers and stuff that we want for it. Okay, what's next we need? We got skin. In front of the skin will be the hair, so we want to put another folder. So let's get on here and grab a folder, and we'll call this one hair. And let's grab that. And you notice I'm dragging them below the actual sketch piece, you know. That's why I have it as multiply. It's on the top. Eventually that sketch is just will go away. And because we'll actually have, once we start doing all the painted work in there, we'll put actually make a detail layer if we want to add any line work into it. You know, if not, you can also blend it in toward with the skin tones, where with your dark shadows and stuff, to where it has more of a realistic look to it. So, but anyway, we got the hair. Let's add a raster layer in there for the hair. And we're going to do this. We're going to go down to the female color base. I'm going to go to the magic wand tool, and we can actually refer to all layers or selection for referred layers. What that means is here I got this one selected, but I can actually go, let's see here, we don't want anything with the eyes added to it as well, but I'm going to do refer to all layers. It makes it simple, and I'm going to grab just this yellow, and then I'm going to click here to pick up some of the extra. However, what I need to do is, you can see it's grabbing my sketch. So let me do this, and let's see if I can see it caught with there and there, so we don't want to do that. So let's just go refer to selection layers. We'll put this, whoops, clicked the wrong thing. We'll go back to here, and we might have to do it the old-fashioned way. So let's go, that's for that referred layer. Let's grab the skin layer also in the eye layer, so that way we can hit this. Excellent. So that kind of just grabbed with all around. Why did it not? It's not doing what I want it to do. It's okay. We'll just do this. We'll work with this part. So we'll do that. Let's go back up to this layer for the hair. Go to the lasso tool. And we're just going to get rid of all that because we don't need any of that stuff for the hair. Okay, so now what we can do is here I am going to go to the skin base, go back to the magic wand tool, and we're going to get rid of that section. So you see how it kind of cut around? I don't like that. Anyway, we'll work with this. We'll just play with it this way. If for some reason it's not wanting to do what I'm wanting it to do, so we'll just go ahead and we'll grab it this way. So we'll go like this. Just kind of grab some of this hair area like that. Oh, I went the wrong direction. Darn it. Kind of got mixed up on that. Let me go ahead and we'll just grab this. We'll do it in little chunks. Alright. I think I got an idea. So let's do that. We'll do the skin base. And let's see if I can deselect just the white part. No, that wasn't what I wanted. I want to go just to the skin base. Deselect just the skin base. Okay. Alright, now we'll go to the lasso tool. We'll just go to this layer. Now we're just going to add on to it. Zoom in a little bit. Grab that one. Go, it doesn't look bad. And let's just grab on up here. Pick is frozen. Oh no. Is it Twitch? Because I'm not showing anything where it would be. I'm not showing any lag or any issue, so it's got to be Twitch's side. Let's go ahead and grab that and flip that over. There we go. Not frozen. Sound is good. Not frozen on Brian's end. Okay. It must be on your guys' side. Whoops. We need to. There we go. Must be on your side. Because everybody else is doing okay. Alright, we got that part. So let's see here. Maybe let's grab this section here. We're just going to kind of catch this. There we go. And get this blocked out. Let's actually, I think we're going to actually leave some more of that in there. Try refreshing. That can be it. And I think I'm just going to grab a couple just to here, because the rest of it I'll add onto a finer layer. So let's grab that way. Oh yeah, I forgot to save it. That way it doesn't do the auto recovery all the time, but hey, it's alright. And of course, this guy is also set up for the time lapse as well. So as we do this, like if you guys follow my Facebook and Instagram, you'll see I posted the time lapse of the tiger cub that we worked on, which came out looking really nice too. So he was totally digital though. We did quick little sketch lines of him and then just kind of pieced him in there. It worked. Good job. Excellent. I'm glad we got you back up and running. Let's try. There we go. And we just got to grab some of this excess here. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of that. Perfect. And we'll add a little bit onto that. Okay. And zoom on out and see what we got. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and give her a give her that a warm gray, and let's just see if we can well, let's first mask outside selection for that. Excellent. This will be the hair color base. Alright, and fill. Okay, so we'll get that area a little bit to it. That's a warm gray versus the cool gray for the eyes and stuff, as you can see. And it's not looking too shabby. Once we have everything broken down, I'll be able to get rid of the actual main color base. For her, I can actually turn it off, then we won't have to worry about it. It's only there as a backup, like if something happens with the rest. So, I'll tell you what, I do need to grab a little bit of water. And I don't think I'll have to post it. I have a being these are my Prismacolor mimicking colored pencils. Working on Facebook tonight. Hey Charlene, thank you. I'm glad it is. If you guys don't get a chance, don't forget to hit the like to stream, and that way it'll help out with the algorithm for me. Let's see here. So where are we at now? We got hair. Hair's at the top, skin's back there, eyes are behind it, and then we have a base. What we need is clothing and then jewelry is what we'll do. So let's hit the clothing. So let's see if we can make this work correctly. We'll hit this to where we hit the entire figure. Now we can go to the skin base, and I should be able to hold the Alt button down and hit this. And I don't know why it went that far away. That's not supposed to go that far away for that. Unless it's doing the same thing. It shouldn't point it that way unless I have really a strong, what's our, oh, our tolerance is up. Let's see, maybe bring our tolerance down to 5. That might be the issue. Let's see if that was the issue. Nope, it still wants to go all the way up that way. That's very interesting. How come the skin, it shouldn't be that far away. It's got a long piece. Why is it doing that? That does not make sense. Area scaling. Close gap. Connected pixels. Anti-aliasing. Let's turn that off real quick. That might actually help out. No, it's still doing it. Interesting. Oh well, I guess for some reason it's not wanting to do what I usually have it do. Alright. Anywho, I'm glad it worked to have to do that sometimes. Alright, let's go ahead and go to the lasso tool. And this is go ahead and there should be a better way than this. There is, I know there is. Let me go back to this one. Let's just refer to all layers and let's see if I can grab just the clothing. No, turn this off. Grab just the clothing. Perfect. Much better. Now we'll go to the lasso tool. And we'll hold the shift button down and grab all these little artifacts. Because we're going to include those in. Oh, thank you for liking the stream, Shirley. I appreciate it. So, makes it easier just to see the little ant trails. Excellent, 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 excellent. Let's turn this back on so now we can, because it grabbed the necklace obviously. We don't need to do that, so let's go ahead and we will cut it off there. And let's see, let's cut it off there. And let me add this section in. Did you get more rain today? I did, but thankfully it's done. I'm hoping it isn't pouring down rain when I drive over that big bridge when after the Victor Cruise. I'll pull over if I have to, unless it pours already on the bridge. I think tomorrow's supposed to be a little bit lighter. It's supposed to be less chance of rain. But yeah, I did get a little bit of rain. If it click where it says you can click from the choices, including love. Oh, cool. Well, I appreciate that. That's cool. But yeah, no, I did get a little bit of rain too myself. Excellent. So we got this. Let's go to, oh, helps if we make a folder. Make a folder. Close. And let's put that folder over the skin. And we're going to put a new raster layer in there, and then we're going to make a layer mask. So that way we just have the clothing. So this will be clothing, color, face. Now, this is going to be pretty similar to clothing for the top and the bottom, because I'm kind of making her kind of a, yeah, the rain is definitely good for my plants. Is there a like button on Twitch? I think there might be on Twitch. It's a follow button, and I think you already follow me, so if you do like YouTube or Facebook and stuff like that, you can always like the stream, and it helps out with the algorithm. You know, even though you already have subscribed to me on YouTube, if you're already subscribed there, obviously you just hit the like button, which is the thumbs up. But Facebook, I think, has some of the other stuff. But if you actually do for the clothing, like say you have like a jacket that's going to be a different color or more vibrant color, you actually can break that out too and have an upper and lower, and you can just kind of put it accordingly to it. So we got that, and this we're going to do, maybe we'll do like a clay color. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe a little bit not so purpley. Not quite what I'm looking for. What am I? I got an idea in my head, but yeah, well, no, I don't want to exactly leave it like that. Maybe we'll do a light. Maybe we'll stick with that. That should work. Twitch has it. Steve, on the react button, you have to wait 5 minutes between. Has some interesting choices. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. There's actually is a reaction thing you can do. Okay, so let's go ahead and we got this is going to be over the clothing, over the skin. So you got to think of that. So that's going to hang over the top. This is going to be over the front of the hair too. So we want to put at the very top then. So we'll go up here and we're going to make the folder up top above the hair for the line for the jewelry. Because that's, if we think about layering, so if you think about like even like with painting, like where you would do the background first and work your way forward, you can do it in different steps this way, but with this, when you lay it out on this section over here, that's through here, the layers window here, but it has all the folders, we'll want them to be from top to bottom like they're stacked, which is the right way that we want to have. So we'll do a jewelry color base, so that way we can add all sorts of neat little refinements, because there's typically 3 different types of tones that you'll see for a lot of lighting and stuff. Or for the skin, you'll have a base, you'll have like your lights, your darks, your shadows, your highlights, you know. So let's do that. And let's see here, we kind of have, we're on it already. We're just going to go ahead and don't have really much to worry about for adding on. We're just going to bring it out. I ought to turn the stability on. For you people that might have a little bit of an issue when you draw really slow of having a smooth line, you can actually go over to here to where you can actually adjust its type of smoothing and like its path for it. You can actually go into advanced settings and stuff on that, and you can actually allow it to not have a bunch of little zigzags in there. It's kind of a neat little option. You can even do that with some of the brushes too. So if you don't want to have it to where it looks, you can see all your little jittery buttons, it'll allow. Well, that'll be okay because we're going to do a highlight of hair over that anyway. If I stick with the sketch, we still might change up some of the sketch. And let's kind of just fill in and keep going from there. Let's see. That doesn't look too bad. Earrings, necklace. I don't think did I give her? No, I didn't give her any bangles or anything there. And the belt we can work on with that. Maybe we'll. I will just keep the belt with the clothing, that'll be fine. Alright, so let's go layer mask, max outside selection. So now we have jewelry. And for that, let's go ahead and give it a bright color and just see how, woo, that's way too bright. And the other reason why is because we grab this and we want to bring it below, so that way we can see that. Alright, let's go ahead and give it a little bit of a softer. Go down here and let's give it a softer fill. There we go, that might be a little bit better. Maybe this one even. I'll be back shortly after my shower. She looks amazing. Alright, Brian, we'll see you in a few. And thank you for the heart, Crazy Quilter. Okay, let's actually give this. There we go. Make it look a little bit more normal for that. So alright, so it looks like we got her pretty much blocked out. So this is actually, all these folders are all just for her. So, and it looks like a lot, so let me close all this stuff up real quick here. And what we'll do is we're going to make another folder. And this is, it sounds a little OCD, but man, it really works out, especially when you start putting all of it together. Because this one we're going to have a background. And it's going to be a little more complex than the tiger. The tiger was kind of just an airbrush painting type thing. This we're actually going to have buildings and this and that we're going to kind of work in. So we'll just do female figure like that, and then we can grab, literally do this to this. Minus the base color, sorry. We want to drag that and put that in there. So now we have her all in here, all her stuff, her eye, skin, clothes, hair, jewelry in the same stack that we want. That way she's organized. That way if we actually go like this, we can actually get rid of it. We can get rid of the base for her now because she's right there. So this base was just our backup. So we can actually turn that section off in here. We can actually turn her off that way. So that way what we're going to do now is we can actually work on the background. And with that we're going to come down to the paper here, do a new folder, and we're going to title it background. And while we're at it, we're going to add a new layer. So I have her turned off right now. As you can see the little eyeballs there, that turns things on, turns the layers off. Makes it easier, especially if you're going to work on coloring through and whatnot. You don't have to worry about those layers being in the way there. We can actually literally just do some grabs and pulls and fills. And I think what we might actually do with the main background layer is we're probably going to do, let's grab maybe that, and let's see what a fill looks like with that. So, and then you can actually see what she'll kind of look like with it against it if you need to. But we're going to go with a softer, like a periwinkle even maybe, because we're going to play with the sky a lot. So we'll use that as our main. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to do, this one will be water base. And that way we can literally grab this with the lasso tool, and we're going to bring it up just a little bit above, so that way that you won't ever have to worry about it not having any open areas for it. Oops, of course. Let's grab the entire top here just to make sure we get it tapped out. Excellent. And we will leave this all as it is. So what we'll do is up here we will let's go this way because we're wanting to add to it. So we're going to bring it all the way down. We're going to do just the bottom section like that. So because we're going to do a layer for that and for the little beach area that we're going to have for it. So we'll do that, and we'll actually, same thing, mask outside selection, so that way only this will get colored, which will be just fine that way. And let's do a new layer, and we'll do this, we'll say mountains, color base. This is all the background area. We're going to make a separate folder for the foreground, which will be the actually be the little wood post there and the beach side, the beach area there. So that will sit above the background section. So now we can literally go and just kind of it's okay if they overlap. Whoops. It's not okay if my hand gets a little crazy on that. And make it go. And then of course we'll have a layer for all the buildings as well. So for this we'll do the mountains. Grab a couple spots there. We'll just kind of, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. And let's do they're kind of be in the back a little bit, so they're going to have a little bit of a haze to them. So we might use that color. So, but let's go ahead and go to layer mask, mask outside selection. So now we have those. Let's fill that section in. That might be a good middle range. I'm trying to pick colors that's going to be a middle ground for it, because I'm going to lighten and darken, add shadows, add highlights, all that stuff to it to make the kind of start to bring it in and out. So if I can find something that's a good middle ground area to work with through both sides, maybe that one. That one's a little bit lighter. Kind of gives it a little bit of a foggy haze feel to it because it's further in the background. Okay, so new raster layer. Let's see if we can do it this way. So we got that. Let's go to the magic wand tool, refer to all layers, and see if I can just grab up here and grab the clouds. Look at that. Now that's the way it was supposed to be done. Not bad at all. That's the way that's supposed to work. Preview that, and then you can go to layer mask, mask outside selection. So now we just have the sky. Yay, the sky. And then we can hit fill. And what we'll do is we'll go to the water base, and we'll actually bring the water in just a little bit like that, so we can see, just have a difference to it. There we go. Alright, we'll turn that back on, and we will, just to get an idea, we can throw her back in. And then we're going to do another layer that's going to have the buildings and stuff, that we'll do the highlights and stuff with that in there, just to kind of block it in. Like I said, they're going to be in the far background, so there's not going to be a credible amount of detail, mostly geometric shape, just to kind of have the eye see it in the background and go, oh, those are buildings. Then that building has windows. So we want it to be above the front of the water and in front of the mountains, and it's not going to be up by the sky, so it won't matter if we have it above it or below it. So what we're going to do, this will be sky color base. And this is going to be buildings color base. Okay, and we'll turn her back off, so that way we're not distracted by any of that stuff. And let's zoom on in here, and we're gonna just grab these little sections that we want here. And what we can do is that, like here, if you don't have a steady hand, also you can kind of just do it this way and use rectangles. Use geometric shapes. Have fun. And we just can kind of, that's all we've got to do. Okay. And let's see here. Like I said, we're just gonna, this will make it nice and easy for, have a nice clean shape lines. So, alright, got that, and here we can even put them, the ones that are going to be up here in the mountainside, and we're just going to go that way initially for it. Excellent. And what we can do is we'll then go to polyline. Actually, we'll just stick with the lasso tool. That'll be fine. Polyline is if you want to do like, if you're doing like geometric shape pieces, but here I'm just going to kind of cut a couple of those pieces out. Sort of like that. And we'll just roll on over here. Back to the rectangle tool. And we are going to add Now you'll notice once I start to drag, I actually have to take the shift button off, and the reason why is because if not, the shift button also allows you to open up like it as a straight square, see, so it'll be perfectly square for things. So, but if you take it off, you can literally pop it in. We can bring this up there, and we'll work the polyline this time. We'll hit the shift button. See, kind of gives you a line that you can work on, and I can hit that way, this way. I think I had a fence or something like that here. So now it does that. Nice thing here is also I can do this, and I can put the roof on, like so. Run that across. And I think that might be alright. Are you okay there? Let's see. I think so. And this will give us our detail that we want for that. Oh, let's see. Let's put that in, and let's layer mask outside selection, just have those, and let's hit the fill button. And it should give us our little spots that we want for that. So that'll be our background area for that. So as you can see, we're starting to get stuff put together. And we'll do a layer, once we get the sky kind of done up, we'll do a layer for clouds and whatnot also, so that way we can adjust the clouds and blend the clouds without having to actually play with the sky once we get the sky adjusted. And we'll add the details, like maybe some birds we'll put in there. Okay, so what we need to do is make folders. So, because we're going to have multiple layers for colors for each. This will be the sky. This sky folder. Put that in there. Mountains. Whoops. Mountains. Like I said, it is not as doing something a little bit more detail. We're going to be doing a lot of refinements. I mean, the tiger cub one you saw, it had just like literally the tiger cub. It had a base. It had some tonal detail, tonal colors and stuff, some highlight details for the layers for it, and that was it. It was because I treated it more like it was a painting. This is going to be the same thing, but it's going to be a digital painting with illustration, and you want to be able to adjust some stuff on it. Okay, so we got all the background stuff right that way, so we can close that up. We got take our base colors and let's put them at the very bottom again, because like I said, the base colors is just our backup section for that. So we have that background, we got the female figure. We want to do a foreground, stuff that's up front, and I hate that it doesn't do that all the time that I want it to do. There we go. And let's put that in front of the background, so that way when we block in the railing, because there's not going to be much inside the foreground. So we want railing, color base, and I hate that my finger drags sometimes and I get boy, I'm just really going all crazy with that. Let's try again. Railing, color base, perfect. Let's drag that out so we can see these a little bit easier. Alright, we got that one. Foreground, railing, color base, and then we need another raster layer, which will be behind the color base, and this will be the beach. As small as it is right there, we want to do that and maybe add in a little bit of detailing of the beach area for it. So, okay. Let's go to this, and you'll use the polyline. On the railing color base, we're going to literally grab in here, and we're going to tap there. We're going to bring it down, tap, tap, bring it across. Ooh. Oh well, I'll have to add that in a little bit. And bring that to there, bring it down, and then connect. Let's go to the regular lasso tool and zoom in, and we'll grab in a couple of the little, I like the kind of the wear on the wood look. So we don't need to be all completely sharp points. I want to show some sort of a little bit of weathering there. Okay, so, but we got that. Looks like we have it tore. Let's go ahead and bring this down a little bit and grab some of that. That way it looks like it has a little bit of a bend in it. A little bit of wear from people touching the wood up here. That way it's not perfectly straight. And we need to do the same thing to this. Much better. Yep, grab some of these little intricate little changes in the wood. Perfect. And we'll go for maybe a soft, but let's mask out. Fill tool. Oops, help if I... Actually, if you click this, like you can click the two, this is the mask, that's the actual canvas. That's what you want to do the fill on. So that way it does that. So now we can kind of go... See how she comes in front of it, so whatever we work through with there, it'll be a-okay. Sweet. Alright. And let's see, we're almost there. We'll start doing some details in just a moment. So now we need to let it save. Grab some water real quick. And here we'll go down to this one, and we'll just use the lasso tool, and we'll kind of run it through that way. And I want to have it kind of look like I want to be able to airbrush this portion here so you can kind of see some of the beach with the water area. So we're going to put just a couple little spots there like that in. And layer mask, mask outside selection. What do we got going on? Did I just get a little... Yeah, I thought I got one of those things. I hear you, I hear you. Let's see. There we go. Let's go that way. And let's see here. Okay, so we got that one. Let's go that, and let's kind of give it a sandy color. Give it a sandy color. Let's hit fill. I did it again. I forgot to put it over to the other section there. So we'll do fill, and you'll be able to see some of that portion there. But what I want to do is we're going to go to the eraser tool and go to the soft brush. And we're actually going to this section here. I don't really want it to show up just yet. So the mask's got it. That's what I'm going to use to kind of let the show. Hey there, beautiful artwork. Scroll Reaper. Nice to meet you, Scroll Reaper. Thanks for the artwork, brother. I'm just kind of doing a show through of what you start with from the hand sketch, scan it in, and we're just kind of blocking it out right now. We're getting ready to do some details now that we're getting all our folders and everything set up. So, got the foreground set up. Railing. thanks for joining in the live stream and hanging out. If you do like what you see and you want to see some more of it and stuff, please give me a like, subscribe, and I'm also on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. So, did my little spiel there. Beach. Whoops. I did not want a vector one. That's a vector layer. There, I'm keep hitting the vector layer. I need to hit the folder. I should just use the quick key for the folder. I'm kind of being lazy on that. There we go. Beach. Excellent. All right. So let's see here. We got all that stuff. We got that base layer for her put in. So now we can actually, we'll close up the foreground and let's open her up. Let's go to, let's play with, we'll start with the skin. We got the skin base. We are going to do a new raster layer for there. We're going to do skin tones. It's going to be this one, and we are actually going to go down to here, use the magic wand tool. We're going to click. I only want the editing layer, sorry about that. We're going to click, then it should give us everything around. Wow, that is not what I'm expecting. So let's try in here first. Why does it keep doing it that far? I got something going on with this. Let me look at my settings real quick. That is just horrible why it's doing that. It shouldn't be doing it that way. There we go. Much better. I was wondering what was going on with it. Where we can grab all those. And now we'll go to skin tones and we'll just duplicate the layer mask up to that. Now we have the base and now we got the tones. I'm back from my shower. McGraw's not happy with the wet grass. Alright, so let's see here. Let's see if we can get to actual brushwork now. Do go to the airbrush. Oh, where did I put it? I usually have my... I need to get... I'll bring it up. I need to post it up here actually so you guys can see too. I actually have all the color selections through with the Prismacolor because that's the same thing that I use. I go into my art notes in my other folder. Sorry, I'm on my other screen for a sec. So you got. But if you've seen some of my previous stuff when we were doing the colored pencils and stuff, I've been doing a lot of digital work to match that, so you can see just how it runs. Oh, here you're going to see my colored pencil list. Maybe. I'll pop it over here real quick to the side. That way. Okay. So like we're going to use this skin tone one up here, this section. So you'll see I have all these, the PC 914. I think that's what I used as the base, which is the cream. These are colors that I would use for different type of skin tones for my colored pencils, my Prismacolors. So we're actually going to bring these guys up. Come on. Get on the other screen. There we go. That way we can see the full screen again. It just frozen me, but refresh worked again. Very cool. Very good that you have a list. Well, it's something that I've practiced with and played with. You know, I made little orbs and and that make the skin tones and work with shadows, and it's a good thing to have. And also because a lot of times people ask, "Hey, what colors did you use?" And I'm like, I remember vaguely, but it makes it easier for me to go, "Oh yeah, that's these," and I can just literally flip to it and pull it out. You know, I would love to be able to just remember that stuff so easily. Let's see. Where and There we go. There we are. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so we got we're on the skin tones section now. Let's go ahead and go to, and we did PC 914, which is basically the right one. So we usually would go to, I believe it's a 927, which is the light peach colors that I usually use, which that's 928. And where's my light peach? I know I had it. Did I change it? I think I might have changed it. There it is, light peach. And we got the airbrush on. We're going to see what we can do by just kind of blending this in a little bit. I'm going to start giving her some color. And we're going to work the color all the way through because we don't want her to look like she's anemic. And especially when you start thinking about the lighting of things. Bring this in a little bit larger. So, I'll bring this down in here too. Kind of do it as a whole so you can kind of see what we got going on here. Okay, and now this is where it gets fun because I'm going to go back and forth and I'm going to start working color in. So, we want to this is salmon pink, by the way, PC 1001 for colored pencils. So if I was to take my sketch and actually do this as a colored pencil, these are the colors that I would actually use. And I'm just kind of thinking about the lighting on this. So the way the light's going to hit, it's going to kind of come really from the side a little bit in. This hair is going to really shadow that out. She's going to have a little bit of highlight in there. We're going to work for the detail. So we're probably going to have a little bit of light on the forearm. Right about there. So I kind of made her look like she's burnt. Let's try that again next time. Let's kind of go like that all the way through. There we are. And then this one is going to not have really much for the light there. It might have a little bit of radiant light off of it. And we'll kind of there we go. Kind of I want to give it just a tiny bit. There we go. That way she doesn't look too bad because we're going to make her, she's going to get a lot dark. She's going to have some more tones and stuff get brought in. And Clay Rose 1017. Let's see. Let's see how we can. This is going to definitely be a more shadowy look to it. Let's see. What do I want to play with that? I think I'm going to not go so far with that one. Let's maybe bring it down a little bit, and we're going to maybe throw a little bit up here. Let's see. Scroll Whipper's now following. Thank you for the follow, Scroll Whipper. I appreciate it, brother. Or sister. And let's see. I'm going to have a little bit there. The way the eyes, we all have our little eye corners in. It's going to run through. The hair is going to cover a lot of the ear. Oop, too dark. There we go. Brother is correct, haha. Well, I usually say brother to everybody. I treat everybody like a brother. So. but thank you for letting me know. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's kind of do give a little, just a little bit, take the edge off. Maybe we'll go back to the salmon pink there real quick and just kind of get some of that hard tone off, because we're going to put a little bit of detail into that. That'll work. And this is the fun part. This is where you start blending back and forth, you know, and I'm just using simple, it's the basic airbrush. You can really, this is Clip Studio Paint, you can really go through that, check it, to have the opacity for 100, hardness. My opacity though is based off of my pressure of my pen. So when you look at the actual setting here, when it has this, it goes with the dynamics on it, and I have it for pen pressure. So, and you can actually get into more detail on these things if you want to, because mine, I can actually, if I rotate the pen, it'll actually give it a pointed direction to where, like if I was wanting to brush up this way, where it would kind of give like a V fan, like if I did a round brush, like if I was actually airbrushing. Like when I do actual airbrushing art pieces and stuff, I would usually hold and I would actually spray at a certain area. So, but if I wanted to give it a different, like a little fan look to where when I would spray, I could actually either push it or drag it that way, and I could tilt it a little bit if I wanted to have that to a spray to it. This sort of mimics that. It's not as finite or tactile as an actual airbrush, but it still works out nice. I'll have to get some of my cameras done out in the workshop to where we can actually do that, and that way I have vents and stuff, and I'll grab one of my I know I got some extra metal laying around. I'll do that and do some actual metal airbrush work, like you'd see like on the side of a car or motorcycle or something like that. We'll add that into our list of things to play with for this, and we'll give more salmon to this, so that way it still has some nice color to it. Okay, and now let's go. I think it's 1031 we want, which is going to be the henna color. One of these, I'm trying to remember which one I have for it. Might have flipped over it already. I keep moving it around, so now my colors, I usually have them lined up in a certain direction, but it has been resetting it lately, and this makes it easier for me to know that I have a good color palette I can run through. I think it's over this. Yeah, there it is, henna. Okay, this I don't want it to look too streaky. Let's kind of a little bit lighter that way. And I'm doing light pressure on it, so that way it's not dropping it off really strong, you know, because if I did it really hard, it'll do that. So beautiful artwork. Thank you, Scroll Reaper, I appreciate it. Love the background. Thank you, Brian. Yep, we're gonna try and make this look really kind of, it's gonna have a nice stylized illustrative look, but we're gonna try and give it a little bit of a realistic look to it. So, you know, I just noticed that what I need to do also is I need to put my we need to add the tiger cub to my slideshow. So we'll go ahead and we flip back over to here, because we have him done now. And let's see here. A light umber, should be 941. There it is. This, we're going to shrink this down even more, because now we're going to kind of work a little bit on some of the details. use the light umber to kind of give a little bit of her eyebrows put in. And here's the nice thing about blocking this in, because now you can kind of work through with the hair and kind of get it to where it'll blend with the hair as well. There we go. And I will let you know I have a tendency sometimes to get a little crazy on when I'm starting to work on tones and whatnot, because I get a little mad on some things and I start to not like it because it doesn't look quite perfect enough to what I want. So there we go. But we'll push through and make it work. You're welcome. All right. Let's see. We'll have a little bit of a Of course, if you start to notice it gets a little too strong, you always go here to the blender. And now they have a painterly blender, which I kind of like because I can kind of give it some of the strokes that I want to it. But I also like just a regular blend tool because it allows me to push it back in and to still get that tone. That would look soft. It's wild to me how you're using specific colors. You usually just color pick off the wheel and splat. There's actually a neat sort of thing to it for color theory on that, and I found when I did my study with colored pencil that a lot of people, if you would come over to the color wheel here on the right, it's behind the chat window, a lot of people would pick, and if they wanted to do tones, like they would do like the gray tones and stuff, but they try and bring the shadows and lights. But I found that these specific skin tones, colors that I've used, they actually work nicely for shadows instead of it, because this is kind of like a daylight thing. Instead of it just using grays, they kind of get a little muddy on the coloring, so it's not as vibrant. Even though it's a dark shadow, it still has a nice energy and feel to it. So that's why I kind of use these colors that I set aside, because I literally have, when I do my analog drawing, and this is displays not here and you can see the entire table, I'll have my actual art sheet. They look sort of like this one, you know, where you use colored pencils and stuff to run in some. This one's a project we'll probably have to work on when I get back from my trip, but stuff like that. And but by using those color combinations, and then once you blend it and then you burnish it in, that's where you really get the vibrance that comes out with it, and it really keeps the picture from getting muddy. Because if you go up and down on this area and just change the and you just literally change the saturation levels left and right, or you change the tonal values on it, that's when your colors start to get a little muddy on it. But by doing this, you can actually kind of work with a little bit, and you can kind of almost feel like a little bit of the blood flow going on, like in there. Like we're going to put a little bit of, because around the cheeks, the nose, the skin's really thin, and that's the reason why if somebody blushes, their face turns red, because you can really actually see the blood flow come up to the skin, and that's sort of what you want it to look like. That's cool. Yeah, it is cool, especially when you start to play with it, because at first a lot of people will be very hard to pressed for it, and that made me think of something. Let's see, where's my book? There is a great book if you want, that text is perfect, that talks about color painting, and I'm kind of looking at my that's Color and Light. There it is. This is the book. It's called Color and Light by James Gurney. It is an absolute amazing book if you're wanting to learn more about color. It's actually awesome, because it actually talks and it shows you good areas on it, and it explains your color areas for it to where you can actually feel, but like that does feel dark, but it's actually really purples, you know. And this is a phenomenal book to get. Yeah, the color wheel, yeah. But this book, Color and Light, is a phenomenal book, especially if you're wanting to kind of expand on your art pieces and stuff. It's a great read, great book that I kind of go through. I go through it every now and then, aside from my other posters I have throughout my art studio and stuff on contrasting, discordant colors, that I use for graphic design, stuff that you need stuff to pop out. For here, we're trying to kind of give it a little bit of a naturalization look to it. Yeah, his color wheel is amazing. It's really nice. That's for that and stuff. Actually, I think I have an actually, I got a very old version of it that was before him, and I'm trying to remember the name of the person before him, because my color wheel that I have is, I think from, I believe this one was 61. Yeah, 1961. The artist color wheel. These things are awesome. They literally shows all the harmony wheels and everything on this. Try your triadic harmony, your color tones and stuff. It is an awesome. This is another one that shows for color mixtures. This is from, like they said, 1961. So that one actually shows you for actual painting. So like when I did some of my water, not so necessarily my watercolor, but some of the gouache painting. And when I do go to work on, when I get a chance to set it up for the canvas and I do an acrylic painting, we'll work with that, and we'll use that for color mixing. I seen that one online. Yeah, I actually came across that one. I had a newer one that kind of got wet, and that one I came across it in the estate sale, so it was actually quite a good find for that. All right, where are we at? Dark umber. Didn't mean to jump off the side, but it's okay. It's all good. I'm on my blend tool still. I was like, why is it not? I need some dark umber. There we go. There we go. Ooh. Run back and forth a little bit through there. Excellent. A little bit of shadows. Let's don't want that to be totally. There we go. I went back to the pink salmon real quick. Back to the light umber. Let's shrink that down because we want to give a little bit of a. Because all these sketch lines and stuff, they're going to go away, and then we're actually going to have. Let's see. So explained it really well how colors travel through the easiest path. She used the gurney wheel to explain it, and it all started to click. She explained colors if we're in a campaign. To be the best color, and blue would attract voters who are nearby colors more than it would attract the yellow, for example. Yes, that's true. Because if blue were shot and blue for me, it would have to shout very loudly for the yellow to actually start to drastically change to blue. That's correct. There's a lot that goes to that. That's just like when you see like a shadow, like in like when you look at paintings, like at a museum and stuff, and it's got a bright yellow. And from the sun, the brightness and stuff casting down on it, the shadows there are actually not like grays, they're actually blues because of the way the color spectrum is, and that's like the what it pulls out for it. So, but yes, that's a very good analogy that person used on that. That is phenomenal. That is correct. Let's see. Let's kind of give, no. I'm doing my pencil roll, so my buttons are getting back down over on my other fingers, and they're actually flipping between either my color picker or my quick eraser tool. So it's a thing I do when I actually sketch. So I like to keep my lead at a certain tightness. We also have, should be dark umber, would be 947, which should be, where are you? There you are. No, that wasn't it. Where's my 947? Did I move it? It should have been like right there next to it. Oh, here it is. No? Yeah, I always had a hard time becoming a lot easier to guess what colors to be wearing. Colors becoming a fun thing again. Yeah, well, that and the it's awesome just to experiment with it, because especially with it in a digital thing. I mean, because literally you don't like it, you can and re-go. You know, it's a little bit more difficult when you're playing with colored pencil and stuff. You know, on a actual physical or traditional art piece. What did I do with my dark umber? I hit it right there. We'll stick with that and let's see. Let's go ahead and bring that down a little bit smaller. Let's see if we can. You said you're using Copics. I actually don't use Copic markers. I actually use Prismacolor colored pencils, the Premieres, and I actually have Chameleon markers, which are watercolor markers when I do use watercolor. Uh, I don't do too much with Copic markers myself, because if I do any type of rendering style markering, it's usually for in warm or cool grays and stuff where I'm kind of doing more of a like an industrialist type art or design, like you're working on like a vehicle concept or something to that effect. But I have used some the alcohol marker based ones like that before. I kind of like the softer feel that the colored pencils actually do. So, and this is actually a little bit of a it's a little bit beyond the dark umber. It kind of gives it to where it has a little bit of lighting set to it. Let's bring this to where we whoops, don't need to be that strong. So, but I use I did one. God, I haven't because I hadn't painted in about 25 years. We did a watercolor a couple month or two back where we used gouache paint for one of the projects. But I don't know. I like the Copic markers or Copic markers, however you want to pronounce them. They I just don't find myself using them that much because I usually like another feel to it. And if I'm wanting something that's got that real sharp edge color to it and stuff, I just kind of use this and do it digitally. So, okay, cool. No, it's blending pretty nice with the Prismacolors. Yes, I've never really colored with anything of a high caliber. Yes, Prismacolors colored pencils are phenomenal. And well, actually, I think I have in my slideshow. Let me pop it up real quick and see if it's. Let's see if I can pull my slideshow up for you. I think I have a couple of pictures in there that I did, or I scanned it. The scan is as good as it never does justice as good as or what you see on the screen versus what you actually get, because man, it comes out so much better. So, but yeah, I love my Prismacolor Premieres. They got a nice soft feel. I can blend them in smooth, and then I'll use a here's my leftover one. This is a colorless blending pencil, and you use that to burnish it, and that's what helps push the colors together and stuff. And man, does it really comes out nicely. All right, let's see here. Let's go to a sand color, which I believe sand is 940. Where's my 940 at? It should be right around here. Can't believe I got all my colors mixed. Oh, my colors been moved around. Let's see. And I'll actually go with that a little bit, I think. All right. Let's see if we can give a little bit of highlight. I think I'm going to put those with the detail, the different detail to it. Let's go ahead and we're going to do a new raster layer, and we're going to call it, and for skin tones, we're going to turn my mouse back on. go to skin highlights, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go down to here, going to grab the magic wand, click, click, click. Oops, nope, don't want to reset. Don't want to rotate that around. Let's grab these and these, go back to here, layer mask, outside selection, flip on over. Cool, awesome. Okay, so let's, now we got highlights, so now we don't have to worry about if we do too much. Whoops. Well, I noticed I did leave a little one there. I think it should be too big of a deal, but just to make sure, let's kind of, there we go. Alright, on to the highlights. So go to the brush, airbrush, and let's see if we can, do we want, this is going to be the big thing, is if we want it to be, do we want the light to be soft, or we want to kind of give it a little bit of, this kind of depends on the look we want, because we can actually kind of do this. We can go like, and kind of run it through that way, and then we can go to the airbrush tool and we can give it a hard curve on it. You see how it kind of gives it that sharper line? So it just kind of depends on what we want to do. So we might actually, it's kind of, maybe we'll try that and we'll do it. Let's hit a little bit of a yellowish with it, and that should help us with getting, oh, I gotta remember to save the file. That's the auto save on there. Almost like gravity was another interesting thought to think about for color blending. Yes. So that will give a nice lighter piece to it, and maybe we'll do that. Let's see how it does if we kind of make it a little bit sharper that way, and we'll run with the brush. Good old clip autosave. Yep. Well, it actually, I like the new feature they have. Actually, I can change it up. I have it, I think, for every half hour that it will autosave. Or every hour, I think. I think it's every hour because, yeah, it's almost about that time. So let's go back to the airbrush and let's see if we can do that. We'll add a little bit of a sand feel to it. I think I need to change that line up to, but let's go ahead and kind of go to that, go back to the airbrush, and let's see what we can do. I wish it were like ZBrush where it saves every minute or custom time from an activity rather than in the middle of a drawing. Well, on the right here you can't really see it too much because of the little screen that I have on there, but I actually up here, whenever I create something, I actually have it records the time lapse. It's a much larger file, and if your computer, your workstation can handle it, having it do that, it actually saves every step along the way with it, which is sort of sometimes why it'll, like if I use a really large brush, it'll kind of drag a little bit because it's literally saving all that, because when I get done with these pieces, I do a time lapse of it, like I did the tiger cub that we just got done with last week. And then posted that so you can kind of see it all within a minute. So it's a neat little feature Clip Studio Paint uses and plays with. I like it at least. At least saves me the. I want to feel like I need to have something there. I don't know why. It looks like it should, and I think I'll get it right eventually. Maybe it just needs to have a little. See, we're going to start working on some of these highlights. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like without so far. Okay. Oh, yeah. I like to use it when it gets close. I just edit them together. Yeah, I I a long time ago I had to do, for a little while ago I had to do that before I put together this bigger workstation that I have now. But I had one where it I would get so far deep into folders and layers that it was just a mess, that it would start to get all it would start to not be happy at all, and I end up having to kind of go along with that flow. But I've since upgraded myself on things. There we go. Let's see here. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, congratulations on the workstation. Yeah, it it really does work out nicely because I have Clip Studio Paint open. I got my Streamlabs, got the Pretzel app opened. I actually have a movie playing on the other screen that you guys can't hear, that I can hear through my headphones, along with the music you guys are listening to. My microphone, my cameras are all set up on it, and I have it working on going through some of my UI code while I'm doing this all at the same time. So it's actually I'm very grateful that I can do all this stuff at the same time with it. It really is allows me to multitask really nicely. Let's go back to the lasso tool. Let's see here. We want to kind of let's kind of give a little extra piece up here. Yeah, well, yeah, technology has come a long way. I actually remember right going to, this is dating me. I actually remember going to the electronics store when I was a kid, buying a floppy disk, not a little floppy, but the big floppy, and a sheet about this thick of paper that was put together in a ream, and that told you how to write the code to where you actually had built your first paint program where you did it pixel by pixel, where you would do basically pixel art, and you basically had to use your keyboard to maneuver it up and down. So very fun stuff, very neat. So let's see here. Maybe we'll give a little highlight up along the clavicle there too. And let's go back to the airbrush tool. And we use the light cream. And I was more in the VHS CD era as a kid. Blockbuster was the spot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I got to be a part of the startup of basic programming all the way to when we went from basic programming stuff to where we got our first Windows. And then I think the really nice one was Windows 3.1. You know, which was the closest version you can imagine for that. And as they say, and that was the end. It just kept going from there. Just kind of hit a little spot up here. Maybe we'll go to the brush. Kind of give a little highlight. I remember Windows 3.1. Yeah. Yeah. I think I might actually have move this guy out of the way a little bit. I might actually have, I know I have it actually. I don't have a computer anymore that actually runs it. I do have a computer that is still Windows 98. Yep. I do have I actually have a laptop that I still have, and it's amazingly enough that as old as the hills as the thing is, the battery in it is still such a champ. But it's like 4 inches thick of a laptop, And it actually has a floppy drive, a DVD drive, and the processor in it is actually a K processor, so it's a cartridge that goes in there, which is pretty darn cool. Some Age of Empire, Age of Mythology, and Warcraft. Oh gosh, yeah. Jeez, there's that. I remember playing what was it that I did on the Commodore? Zack McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders was one game. That was probably one of the craziest and most fun games I can remember as a kid. And you had to type in, or you actually had to move them around and kind of find stuff. It was sort of like it was definitely a fun game. To put it simply. Yeah, the old hardware. Yeah, bring back compact sizes. Yeah, but oh my god, that and the thing weighed. It's like you're carrying around a dumbbell. So, oh, I just changed my color setup. Go back to my Prismacolor. There we go. Let's see here. Let's go to lasso, and maybe we'll grab. I think the way light. There's not going to be much light there on that, so I think we might actually kind of do one more streak in there just to kind of look like it's coming through the hair. That's what we're trying to play with. Grab this. Whoop. Help if I grab the right color. There we go. That way we can kind of see it from a distance that we're starting to get like a little bit of a feeling of the light coming through, pushing through with. And this we might actually have a tiny bit. Deselect and back to the lasso. Maybe we'll do a little like that. Yeah, the old chunky hardware. Yeah, now a lot of that stuff I've been slowly just scrapping and saving components and stuff that I know I can either use for another piece or another section. Let's kind of run that back over. For those of you guys that don't know, what I'm doing right now is I'm doing little lasso tools for this inside, just to kind of get these sharper brush ends is all. So that way it kind of gives you a nice cleaner line to it. It kind of provides a good breakup between the soft airbrushing. So, and what we're going to do is we'll probably go back to the skin tones here, and maybe we're going to add, because she's a girl, we're going to probably want to use a pink color, maybe I think 929 would be a good pink one. Yeah. I know that color, when you look at it in this section over here, it definitely feels bright, but when you use the airbrush on it and you definitely do it light, you can actually kind of bring in a little bit of the blush that comes onto the cheeks, and it actually starts to bring in a little bit more, feel a little bit more life to her. Now, the one thing I do notice with this that I have to do is maybe I think there's the other one I think I use is blush pink. Yeah, 928. It's a lighter blush pink, and you kind of use that on top. And as you kind of get this in, because it's going to look like she's kind of has like a sunburn, you're going to go to a blend, and we're going to softly, just lightly grab the edges and pull it out away from where you did it at, so that way you'll start to get that blush color in, but it won't look like sunburn. It actually kind of looks more like the skin tone, like a little bit of blush. Alright, let's see. And maybe we'll come back and use, what do we want to play with now? Maybe we'll add a little bit of henna in there just to kind of get very light. And we're going to kind of, let's go to the light umber. Bring this down a tiny bit. Oh wow, it is 9 o'clock already. Just notice I'm blending instead of... There we go. Too harsh. A little bit better. Alright, well it is 9 o'clock. What we're going to do is we'll go ahead and save. Here's the baby tiger you can see that we did earlier. Let's see, call it visiting the lake. Alright. Well, that's saving that. Let's do a swap out. Alright guys, well it's 9 o'clock. Time really flew real quick on that. We had a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm going to be off on business for a little while, but I'm going to still try to do all this while I'm out and about, because I'll be out, away from my actual home base there while I'm doing it. So like I said, that extra equipment I have back there, we'll hopefully be able to still do this, and we'll have hopefully it may not be Thursday. If it doesn't, I'll definitely post it on Instagram, Facebook, that if I'm not able to make it like I usually do. But if not, we'll try and do it. It'll be a different location. Like I said, we'll also maybe have more than just art. We'll probably have a couple of IRL videos where maybe we'll check out some new places, and maybe, who knows, maybe find a neat restaurant or cafe to hang out at, and be able to do just some sketching there, and I'll be able to put my little tripod up and you can actually watch me sketch out there. So have a great business trip. Thank you, Brian. Thanks for the stream. Nice meeting. Nice meet too, Scroll Reaper. Thanks for coming in and joining, hanging out. I always like to have anybody want to come in and chat and whatnot, or if they have a request or if they have a question on how something's done, by all means don't hesitate to ask. We've done quite a bit of things where people had sent me messages and stuff about how do you draw this character or that character. So what we'll do is we'll grab a couple references and we'll break it down to where that way you learn how to draw that character and whatnot, and it really works out. So all right, you're welcome. Good night, Frontier Man. So you guys, if I don't see you Thursday, have a good weekend too, but if not, definitely have a good Wednesday. God bless, and don't forget, let's create something together. You guys take care now.